Now, I've also done space, so I definitely know the up the design process and how much you have to make everything, and you're
Mhm.
fabricating so much for the set dressing and everything. Um, Now, this is in Toronto. Is it the exteriors of the show? Where are they?
Yes,
It is?
yes, yes.
I gotta get over. I had no idea they had like desert land looking like mountains and beautiful scenery like this. This is
Well,
amazing.
it's a quarry.
It's a
Mhm.
quarry. Oh. And so are those the trees that you have that look like fatty dogwoods? Are those real? Are those real trees or those did you design them?
We designed them, and then our Brilliant Greens, specialty greens wing built them. And
Oh,
so,
Mhm.
and our scenic skinned them with paper, and it was a total group effort.
oh,
Mhm.
they're fantastic. Did you know that you'd be designing like the landscape in this sense when you took this on? Like, was there talk about that?
Yeah, well, I was on prep for a very long time for this because of strikes and that sort of thing. And so we spent a lot of time concepting first of all, for Vancouver and then for Toronto, once we knew we were going to Toronto. And so we had location photos and we sort of knew that we would have to avoid the sort of greenery of Toronto. So, we went straight for the quarries. And since we have this, untouched virgin sort of planet, we could do anything we wanted. So the answer is yes, but visual effects did help us a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
what you're looking at in this direction, you would have seen large equipment like bulldozing rock out of the rock
Mhm.
face.
Oh my
See
God.
here.
Was the quarry far from your stages?
About an hour, hour and a half.
Oh,
Not far.
Well,
that's not too bad.
oh.
That's not
De
too bad.
Depends how fast you drive, really.
The yeah, the design of the exterior of this like the module or the place that they're living is so unique and I just love how they've made it their own and how the lived in effect of it and just making giving that little bit of color to it. Was that something that you came up with or was that scripted? Was it, the color palette for this?
That happened early on in the design process because, the PresAux team are these sort of hippy dippy folks. And, Rob did a great job of dressing the interior with their sort of Etsy kind of crafty personality. And we wanted to convey that on the outside just to
Mm.
differentiate them from your usual group of people who would rent these habitats. And so yeah, we had some artwork where I was like, well, let's try painting it. Like at one point, I think our original artwork for this had like a rainbow on it, like a,
Oh
you
wow.
know, thing. And then we landed on these symbols because we sort of synthesized this idea that the culture of the PresAux team goes way, way, way back to even before our time, to the first earthly cultures. And so we sort of mashed up, Etruscan, African, Asian. We took all of those sort of design tropes, and our graphics team came up with sort of a symbol language that they inserted.
I love it because there's this triangle pattern throughout, and so just these specks of color that they've done, or and how worn it looks. Also, the aging on it is also fantastic out there, and when you're looking at it when they're outside is really it's fun. Plus the windows, I love the window design too.
Mm.
It's so rounded and framing when you're inside. Now, Rob, I know about making stuff up and and making stuff. Oh, they filter their water system. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you become an
Yeah.
expert on filtering water systems. So, um, were there, I mean, this is a general question for the whole look of the show. Did you have rules that you set up? Like, well, they wouldn't have zip ties or they wouldn't have, things. Were there rules that you guys set up that
Yeah,
lended to,
pretty
to making?
pretty much there were, and going into it Sue had already created this really great kind of book on how they do things and
Oh, great.
what they, what they're capable of, what they wouldn't have, and how, they 3D print everything and they recycle everything. And even the filtration system would be, there's not a lot of surface water available, say in their zone. So they're whatever effluents are coming from their habitat are going into this wacky system, we slapped together one day for a bit of interest out in the desert. And yeah, it's went like that. It was very ad hoc in some ways, which is
Mhm.
what, and based on what they had available and what they could print. And the fact again that they're these hippies and they're just gonna, even if they had the resources, they're still gonna kind of do it this way. It's the way they do stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, it's a great, I mean, obviously that's a great way to put it that they're hippies because everything
Mhm.
from like the rugs you selected and everything give it that like that vibe. Um,
Right, yeah.
no,
The
when
space hippies we used to call them. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you, so the interior is a set, and then is it just surrounded by lights because you have almost this opaque type, ceiling or structure around the whole thing? How did that work with lighting? I'm sure they were happy because it diffused everything, but
Yes, that was a nice bonus. Well, those white surfaces, normally, we would build that out of plexiglass and it would be heavy and expensive, but we found this company that made these TPU art. They made artwork out of TPU pillows. They had a machine
oh,
that could take this plasticky material and basically bond it together into any shape you wanted. And then also at a larger size because the material came at least 6 foot. So we were able to make these pillows and inflate the whole thing, which is what we wanted to do anyway. Like in reality, this habitat would have been passively solar heated and cooled. And so that we chose this, we looked at different materials. There's lots and lots of this different versions. They come in color or that kind of things. And we landed on this one because it did help our cinematographer and our gaffer to diffuse the light. And so it was really just like any stage set. You've got the big LED, boxes up high, and then when the light hits the set, it just sort of diffuses. And then Rob had this amazing, practical lighting team who then came in and did even
mhm.
more.
mm,
And he made fixtures, and you can speak a little more to that, but yeah, that's how we did the set.
I love that.
Yeah, and I think, we've all done sci-fi, and that's one of the great things about it is that you really get to play with the lighting.
Yeah.
And yeah, our lighting team is amazing. Mark and Nicole, they were just, they would build anything, and I loved their attitudes. They were so up for it. It's just like, yeah, we want to do this, and they were just like, okay, we'll go into our little shop, and they came up with really great stuff.
There's so much
Yeah.
too now with LED strips and everything that we can be able
Hmm.
to do more slick things and they can it's all dimmable because that's the whole world is like it has to be dimmable now because a lot of times as decorators we're providing the sources really.
Yeah, as you know, more and more, and especially again in this kind of environment, there
Yeah.
were just so many different practicals and applications, and as you know, everything is in the dimmer board and down to the last pixel kind of thing, and yeah, super important and very effective. So.
What would you say your percentage of fabricating the furniture versus, you know, real like built the real furniture that you sourced?
The bulk of it was sourced. We
Mm.
built, key components like in,
Well, the
some of the equipment in the med lab. Those, all that stuff there was sourced from a company in Spain, an outdoor furniture company
ooh,
called Von Dom, and it was amazing. They had this stuff, but what I loved that they were sort of solid form and
yeah,
just the interest of the shapes, but also the simplicity, because again, the idea was they're 3D printing all this stuff. They don't arrive with any of it. And all this stuff spoke to me as items. I could clearly see them as being, as having been 3D printed.
yeah. I was on a season of For All Mankind, and we kind of had that rule too, where they went to Mars, and it was like, well, they
Mm,
would have. Does it look like it could have been 3D printed? And
hmm
I'll tell you this after like months of trying to find chairs or menu, should we design
Yeah.
chairs and blah blah blah. And I found this really great mesh chair and everything, and we put it in, and they were like, the only comment was, I don't think there would be wheels. And I said, well, we're on Mars. Like, what do you do? You don't have wheel? Like, what? It was like,
Oh, wow.
okay, but a note I needed 3 months ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but
You
yeah,
you never know what'll be bumped on as a
yeah,
set decorator.
you never
So
know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
the furniture, is this selected palette that you guys chose? Did it come like this? Did you paint this? Because it all works so greatly together with your palette. I'm assuming you painted, but
So, some of it came very close to the palette, but everything was hit with paint.
yeah.
Everything had to just tie it in to that degree, as we usually do, find ourselves doing. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean I love the palette in this, the neutrals, and then just those earthy greens and the oranges,
Yeah.
the way
Hmm.
again I just thought it suited the characters and the hippie vibe so well.
I
Yeah, we
I
really
I
wanted
really
to stay away from the sort of grays and metals and sort of like cold stuff for the PresAux team. We wanted them to be sort of warm and a little retro too.
yeah.
Mhm.
I love the palette. I think it's happy. Like even though it's muted, it's a very happy palette going on,
Mhm.
and that just the pot you like in the living room setting, they have like more depth of like color and pillows or blankets and the rugs and everything. So I do see
Mhm.
now what you're saying with the Etsy vibe. I can, like, yeah, I could see that. And the like macrame and kind of
Yeah.
world that they're living in. Um,
So
how, oh, go ahead.
I was gonna speaking to the macrame, we had this conceit that one of the residents who's a is a fiber artist. That's kind of her hobby outside of
Mhm.
science. So it gave us license to do these projects, and we hired this amazing a textile artist named Rita Kaleva, and she
Wow.
hand crocheted all these things like little slip covers for the chairs and the
Oh,
stools and a
wow.
wall hanging, and it was amazing what she could just turn around in no time.
Oh,
It's really,
wow. What a
really
great
cool.
source to have, and giving it more textures in there.
Yeah, which I always felt it needed that,
Yeah.
you have this kind of fabricated 3D printed furniture, whatever it's not plastic, but it's some fiber substrate they're recycling, and then you want to add that textural layer just to again for the characterization for the hippies, and then also just to take any flatness out of you know potentially out of the pieces.
You guys have these gorgeous like plants that come down through the room, and their vegetable gardens, and I'm sure it helps with their oxygen and everything.
Mhm.
Is that in Canada, is that greens or is that you? Sometimes I don't know. Is that
This was they were built by our greens. It was a concept we wanted. There was a greenhouse elements in the original concept drawings, but I felt that they needed to be mobile in some way.
Hmm,
So I thought hanging columns of greens
yeah.
would that could, and they were on big rollers and hoops, and they could move around to camera and accommodate camera instead of being fixed because the scale of them, they were going to be 20 feet high. And that's kind of how we arrived there. And then through a lot of sourcing materials and our greens people doing, I don't know, any number of samples for me and Sue, that we arrived at this really cool greenhouse.
Yeah, it's great. And like you said, like the moving them around and getting them into shots, and I'm sure shooting around them or giving them foreground. They're really
Hmm.
interesting pieces. And it shows so much life in the set, which I
Hmm.
just love. I really do like watching this. I was like, I love this color palette and like this. Like they're not, it's not a sterile place to live. Like you guys have made it so homey in a sense, and that they're there and they're trying to enjoy it. They're trying
Yeah.
it, but yeah, it's really great living spaces that you guys have for them.
No, that's
Um,
that's that's great to hear because I think that's what we're striving for.
Oh
And
yeah.
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 It's a different kind of space that you guys have created
Mhm.
here, which
You,
is
you
really
don't sort of see these slightly naive, but very positive outlook people in space shows,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
They're always so
Yeah,
dark, and
that's usually quite grim, and
Yeah.
so
yeah.
because we're dealing with a comedy, but we also wanted to play up the contrast between these guys and the Deltfall team, and then the
Mhm.
Great Ones team. That these people really they care about the world they live in, and they care about their culture, and they're always going to bring that around with them, as opposed
Mhm.
to the other folks who are like, okay, how do we get in, get
Yeah.
what we need, and get out of here,
Right.
and so we went more with the dark silver,
Yeah.
we hewed to the sci-fi tropes for them and not with these guys.
Mhm.
Um, we're looking at a shot where you have their like command center board, but it's in front of this great window. And to be able to get the greenery in with them constantly is really great because it just reminds you like, they're on a planet. They're not like in space. They're on a planet, but it's with them at all times. It's really great to have these large windows looking out into like a forest and then the technology in front of it. Um, I also love how you guys did screens. I mean, I know some of them are like in the air and everything, but is it plexi and then tablets on top? How did you achieve this look? What is it?
Well, those are OLEDs, so they're flexible screens that can actually bend. They're curved. They're very
Oh,
thin. They're
oh,
maybe like, what do you think, Rob? Like 2 or 3 millimeters maximum.
Yeah,
They're
maximum. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're very high definition, and you can buy them on Amazon. So we bought as many of them as we could afford, and then we sandwiched them between plexiglass that we put curves in. Rob will tell you this was a real like R&D nightmare.
Yeah.
yeah.
We, it was a lot. It was definitely a group effort. Set dressing, I believe you guys ran point on it, right? Or did construction have somebody build these? I can't even remember
Ye-
100%, but
Yeah, I think we farmed out this particular unit to a builder, a sculptor builder who does a lot of stuff for film to make that the mainframe. I think that the craziest thing are our playback guys. They met the challenge. Let's just say that to figure out the OLED screens and just the cabling and
Yeah.
they're very very sensitive, very delicate. And on a film set, that sensitive and delicate are not the best words,
No, no,
but they really pull it off, and they're super cool because I haven't seen them before in a
no.
show,
I love
so
them. I
yeah.
love the look of them. I love
Hmm.
how advanced it looks. It's really and I do and the whole console putting it on I thought is really great too to have it like
Hmm.
clear and not just a big clunky console. It's really nice.
Hmm.
yeah, well, that's nice to hear because we really sweated over this.
Oh, I love
And
it.
um and I mean, I don't know if you have a slide that shows in the SecBot factory, but we have truly cylindrical ones
Right.
where we really push them all the way to as far as they
Hmm.
could bend. But those are not in the first episode. I think they're in like episode 2 or something like that. So I don't know if we're like allowed to highlight them in terms of award season stuff. But yeah, we had a good time figuring
Yeah.
this out.
No, I mean
Yeah.
I did the whole season in like 2 nights because I didn't realize it was a half hour, and I was like, all
Yeah.
Hmm.
right, and then I was like, oh, half hours. Good. I get to do one more before bed. Like this is awesome. I love dark humor, so I was in. Like I love like how like a little crazy he is, and just
Yeah,
all
yeah.
Hmm.
of the different personalities in the that they have in the group is great too. Am I wrong? This is the ship. This is not yeah, we were talking about the ship before.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's the hopper. Yeah.
the hopper. And then I do have a shot. Is it like an egg foam, like bed they have there? Is that egg
It's
foam? What is
Yeah, the bottom, it's actually all camping combinations of camping foam. So
Mhm.
there's the bottom layer is like a silvered camping foam, high density foam,
I think I have.
and then the orange ribbed
Oh my God.
mattresses are just those really slim inflatables.
Oh wow. How much prep did you have?
Never enough.
Never enough.
Oh no. But I mean, more than most half-hour shows, and a lot less than most sci-fi shows. Let's put
Most
it that way.
sci-fi, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of time in terms of the pre-production, but with not Rob, having no Rob and his team and my construction guys on, it was like a boots on the ground, run, run, run kind of thing
Mhm.
once we started. So what do you think, Rob? Was it like 12 weeks?
I remember
Mm.
I started 12 weeks out, but they weren't full weeks. The producer had us on these weird kind of
No.
um, weird floating schedule down day things. I don't know why they didn't just have us in full time. And then the 8 weeks, 8 weeks hard prep.
Yeah, I mean, insane that Rob managed to execute those. I mean, everything you see the 3D printers in the left there, and we made those for not only the hopper but also for the, for the habitat and just so much that he had to be ingenious about.
Well, yeah, because like the wires and the pipes and getting the like doing consoles with buttons and everything, and it's a lot. It's a lot of
It
time, and
is,
it's a lot.
yeah. If you know sci-fi and you do, yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, production come in with their standard templates and they don't realize that no, this isn't, we're not just
No,
going to the prop house kind of thing.
no, no.
Not that that's the way I like to do it anyway, but as you know, as a set decorator, supply chain is everything. It's the killer. You have your concepts and you know what you want to do, but
Yeah,
to source it and get it there on time and install it is just you're
quantity.
always,
Quantity is our problem here. I find I couldn't find
yeah,
6 sconces the other day. I was like, how is this? I gotta buy
I
them.
know it's you see the perfect you need six, you see the perfect one, there's five.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always the
You know
way.
why? Because some
Yep.
grip broke one.
Happens. Yeah.
Their med bay is also really interesting, and making medical equipment look a little futuristic and playing with that color palette. Was that fun? And also the flooring. The flooring is great in every room too. How interesting it is, and yeah. But medical wise, did you have fun with that?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's always that it's that sci-fi struggle, but the beds were great because I found a company that just does medical beds and aesthetic beds and that, and we found the perfect ones. And the main thing about it again was just working with the palette and the texture, and I had them all vinyl wrapped in
Oh,
uh,
great.
in that metallic orange, and I think
Yeah.
they just came out great in that
Mhm.
palette. And then I think the other machinery in there, I think, was months and months of design that went on and on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And yeah.
yeah. I mean, because even the medical lab, everybody is healed through 3D printing. So
Yeah.
there are, these machines are meant to be these super medical robots, and
Mhm.
at a certain point, visual effects takes it over. But still, I mean, we had to convey the sort of icky side of medicine, hence, all those tubes and there's all this diagnostic stuff, but it's again,
Mhm.
it's science fiction and we only have a certain amount of space. And so
Yeah.
we wanted to hint at the things that we all understand to be medical stuff, but also, cue a future in which it doesn't, you don't need to have a totally sterile environment. You don't need to worry about blood everywhere. The
Right.
fluids are all sort of chemically engineered, on and on and on. So, all of that is in there sufficient to sell it without us getting too deep into it, given we only had whatever 4 weeks or something to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, there's a great scene. It's later in the show, but like doing surgery, like hand robotics and everything. And I'm sure props had fun with that, but it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. We have
it's,
a great props team too. They rose to the occasion also with the
Mhm.
sort of the challenges that they had to overcome.
so
And
in
that-
working with costumes and making sure that everything's, cohesive and everything, was there a lot of like testing on the sets with their colors and everything, or giving them swatches to play off of? How did that interaction go?
It was fairly seamless. I mean, our palette was pretty straightforward, and fortunately, we did get to camera test everything. And
Mhm.
and so I think fortunately we were in sort of a family of warm oranges and tans and things like that. So there was a lot of latitude. So we I don't think we ever went wrong with any of the color
Oh, no.
choices.
No, one of the things I did during prep is I set up a tableau in the office up in the art department,
Nice.
like a
Oh,
living room size mini set that everybody could come and walk through from lighting to
wait a minute, Rob.
costumes
I am
and
totally editing that out because I do not want that to be standard that I gotta set up for
no, I
every
just
production.
it's I'm honestly I don't do that every time, but it was so called for in this project because again
Yeah.
because you're inventing this new world. It's really hard to express the language and
Yeah.
to have it three-dimensionally to kind of rest in and see the textures and the palettes was really beneficial for this project. But
Wow.
yeah, it's not.
Don't.
I'm not
Whoa.
going to set up the medieval tent village in the office
Whoa.
so I can
It
avoid
was
it.
like
So
it was like a little IKEA living room, and it was
Oh
really
my God.
helpful
yeah.
because you have two DPs, you have two showrunners who aren't always there, you have
Mm,
robot, like I mean, you have secbot costumes, you have all of it, and greens and all of it. So, and the lighting part of it especially was like, how is this gonna look, and with these
mm,
materials, but it all worked out.
yeah.
Did you have a specific piece that really gave you trouble? Was there a design element that kind of was like, "Oh, I just can't get this to work out, or, was there anything that was your hardest on this show? Because it's hard. I mean, you didn't
Mhm.
have a ton of prep. I mean, it's hard.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you feel this way, Rob, but I feel like the regen chamber that Murderbot gets fixed in, like that
Oh
sort
yeah.
of
Do I have
thing
that?
with the C rings that go back and forth and fix Murderbot. That was
Yeah.
that was a lot of that was a lot of tinkering. Yes, that guy.
Yes.
And we were
Yeah.
in the very last minute dealing with, whether you could see the components through the, wires there and all of it. But I think it turned out great. I mean, I don't have
It
a
did
problem.
turn out great. You can see that, we did kind of make the outside of it, we had to make it opaque for VisFX because we invested so much time and detail on the inner workings, but you do see them on the inside of the ring and they're all lit.
Yeah.
And then when you get in close in the VFX, it's really cool. So, but
Yeah.
that was that kind of dressing you're doing where there's, you're there with three technicians in front of the camera, like
Yeah.
coming up with ideas on the spot to help
Yeah.
VisFX.
What if I
And you
Yeah.
do
do,
this?
and the things you don't want to ruin this beautiful thing that's been built. So it,
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
worked out in the end, as it does.
And special effects, had to rig the whole thing. So there's
Oh
two
yeah.
guys behind the wall there with pulleys and all of this, making it go up and down
Mhm.
and the you can't see that because he's against it, but that sort of yoke that he's sitting in
Mhm.
is 3D printed, I think, Rob, right? And
Oh,
at
Yeah.
a price.
Yeah.
And quite a price.
Certainly was. Yeah, it certainly was.
And
And
our set
I
design,
don't know if we ever see his seat
I don't
when he's I think we only see it when he's in it, so
I
I
don't
think when
know.
the when you go in there when it's empty, you might catch it, but
you might
it's
catch it. Yeah. It was amazing that contraption had the physical elements that it did and wasn't just a CG element, the whole thing.
Right.
And but I think it really helps that you get that you feel that mechanical dimensionality to it,
Yeah.
which I think is
And
great.
it's different than the rest of the look. Like, it's for
Hmm.
the robot, like the scanning and everything. It's
yeah.
it's it's a great design.
Hmm.
Um, I have so many things to talk about. I mean, you designed a show within the show, which is has to be like so much fun, and the costumes in this also are fantastic. But
Yeah.
how many stages did you have? Did you have a
We
like
Two.
had two big stages,
Yeah.
two?
but then this was done on a volume stage, which
Yeah.
was
This
a
is yeah.
third stage. Yeah.
So this is you've created the floor and all the walls are volume. How is this working? No, this is
Yes.
real. This is real though,
No,
isn't it?
no, all the walls are everything you see behind Skarsgård there is all volume work.
Oh wow.
It's all an asset that was projected onto the volume. Rob, Rob built those consoles and he did all the screens. That's all us. And we built the platform in the middle. But so we basically have an island of reality
Mm,
surrounded by
Mhm.
a um,
like
a
the
CG universe.
wow. How fun was it to get to do like almost the opposite of like these dark colors and like and then the brightness and like the big lights and everything. I mean, that's fun. I don't know. It's like you got two personalities on one show.
Yeah, people love Sanctuary Moon. It's so
Mm.
funny. So many
Mhm.
people, not even just fans of the books, but other people were just so tickled by just making fun of Star Trek and sort of like putting this sort of wacky thing in the middle of our show, which was already pretty wacky.
Mhm.
So,
Oh, I have a shot of it as it's built and seeing the volume now. I didn't realize that before. I thought that there were walls I thought those were big walls.
that's good. That's good
Yeah,
you were
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
paying.
very convincing. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no, it's
there's a
great.
lot of hand-wringing about whether, it would detract from it that we had to do it so quickly because it takes a
Mhm.
long time to build assets for volume wall, and we did this very quickly. But because it's so heightened and so colorful and so, frankly, a little cheesy, it
Mhm.
kind of worked for us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like disco. It's like all of a sudden they're like in disco. It's like great. Um, Rob, did you have a favorite set throughout the show? Like even anywhere or
It's changed episode to episode. It's like this is going to be a cool one, and you pull it off. I think the set block factory was really
oh,
fun.
no.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had.
I love it. Me too. I
Yeah.
I would agree. But I need to give Rob some snaps because this set that you're looking at here was actually has had three reincarnations. It started out as the conference room, and then it became a restaurant, and then it
Oh.
became this hotel. We had to turn it
Oh.
around. We had to
I
turn it around in three different sets.
I
Mhm.
couldn't get a shot of that restaurant, but I actually loved the dome lights in every table and how
Hmm.
happy
Oh yeah,
lighting would have. I'm sure they loved you that day. You like lit everyone for them, or if
they
that
did.
was
I'll say they were very happy
yeah,
with
yeah,
that, and we worked very closely with the gaffer on that. How we were gonna pull that off, and yeah,
yeah.
that was a win for sure.
Hmm.
I got a
Um,
real kick out of that set too because it was so kind of intentionally. I kept calling it the Oligarchs Cafe. Like it just had a vibe that was a certain kind of money that was
yeah.
paying for it and being thrown around there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think I have. I don't have a of the beds like the bunk beds that you have. I don't think I have that one.
Oh yeah, the sleeping pods in the hotel.
Yes,
Mhm.
I don't have that
Yeah.
one, but that's fun it's at the end, but it's a fun set to like, they're niched into the wall and lit so like dimly. It's really
Mhm.
pretty. It's a really pretty set that was created there. And again, you know, what are their sheets? What are their, it's a big discussion of what their sheets are. What are their
Yeah, no,
pillowcases?
exactly. I think we had tatami mats. And
Mm.
then we had, a natural fiber like linen, and then we had these our standard IKEA space pillows, which were just an IKEA foam pillow with no pillowcase. That
Right.
was super effective. So even in space, IKEA comes in handy.
I
That's right.
totally agree with you. I got the note, we want no IKEA, and I was like, well, then I can't do the show for this
Yeah,
budget. So
this is going to be a small percentage that
yeah,
that
but
by needs gets in there.
it's all of a sudden you're like, you know what, that works, and maybe we
Yeah,
manipulate it or we play off of it, but it's a start sometimes. That's it's
exactly. And they really were just two or three pieces that were IKEA in it.
yeah.
That then they were all hacked and adapted, but so they were seamless. But yep, that comes up. It's great for
Well,
budget. So
Yeah.
one of the things we said early on was that if Amazon and IKEA, had a love child, it would be the Corporation Rim,
yeah,
like
yeah,
There you
new
go.
exactly.
generation
Yeah.
now.
There's your
There's
role. Um, what else? I mean, I watched the whole thing and just love the whole flow of the story too. I'm excited. I'm assuming. now that you've said, but there's a season two, they leave it wide open. Are there any sets you would love to see come out of this? Like what you would want these characters to go into, or I guess it's yeah, what these characters go into?
Well, it's both good and bad. It's that every season is a different set of the books or a different, so
Oh,
this
right.
first season was the whole first book, and then the second, third, and fourth. I'm sorry, the second, third, and fourth books comprise the upcoming season, the second season,
Mm.
and so nothing is recycled.
So
Nothing that
nothing's
happened,
coming back.
not a single thing.
That's
Rob's amazing work is a one shot,
So one off. You
one
know,
off, and all the more
the
reason it deserves to be honored,
the
because it's
yeah,
the
it
last
all is.
scene in first season is Murderbot taken off to
yeah.
wherever. So
Wherever
he
he's
leaves that
gone.
whole world behind.
He
Yeah.
went out to check the perimeter and he's
Yeah.
gone.
He definitely would have checked the perimeter and that was it. So
You know what? I cried at the end. I was like, I didn't know that it was going to be as effective and sad and as it
Yeah.
was.
yeah,
I
the tonal shift in the last episode was
yeah.
really striking, but it was really, really compelling. It really worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but why are they calling this murder bot? He didn't kill any of them. Like he didn't.
Well,
Well,
who
I'm sure we'll
knows?
get to it, but the locations you had in the last episode though, where were they? Were they in Toronto? Yeah. The
Mhm.
big it was a big train station, right? Was that a hard location to secure and then make look, modern? I don't know. I don't know
Well,
what the original thing was.
it was a beautiful, like, great piece of architecture that pretty much we hardly did anything. Rob added some lighting,
Mhm.
and visual effects, of course, helped us out. But it was a nice subway station at one of the universities. Do you remember which one, Rob? I can't
It
remember.
was yeah, it's at York University and it's kind of the last it was like the newest station at the end of the line. It
Oh,
was very recently within the last few years that that station came online and that was very helpful, yeah.
yeah, it was
It
nice.
was. Yeah, yeah, worked out great. I mean, there's any time we can use concrete and brutalism or modern brutalism or parametric
Mhm.
architecture, those things just speak science fiction. And
Mhm.
so when we can find that's always a plus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many days out were you? I mean, probably not, right? You built everything. I mean, you had to go to that exterior, but you really were on your own stages, right?
I don't know, Rob, what do you think?
Uh we were mostly in the stages for sure, but we always had to get out for those exteriors, those hopper. The hopper was always going somewhere on the planet, and then it was always a new environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had
Yeah.
the
So
sand quarry, we had the
yeah,
gravel quarry,
we had
Mm.
the brick
very solid.
quarry,
Yeah,
and then
we
we had the nickel quarry. We basically shot at four quarries,
yeah, and
and
then
so
we had the
everything was mapped out,
gorge we were in. Yeah,
right? That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was five quarries. We had a lot of
thanks.
quarries,
A lot of
and they all
quarries.
look different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we did go up to Sudbury for a week and shot
Yep.
up. And in Sudbury, it's a mining town. It's a hard rock mining town, and there's huge slag heaps. And we shot out in the slag quarry, which was
Oh,
Episode 9 basically was all that. The Gray Chris episode was all there.
mhm.
I did. I love. Uh-uh. I love all of the different looking textures of the rocks and throughout when they are going to different spaces and all. It gave them all unique looks throughout it. That's why I had to look up like when it said Toronto, I was like, oh, IMDb's wrong. Like they're wrong. You're just assume. Don't know me. Um, well, awesome, guys. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to speak with both of you. But and just, you see shows and you're like, oh yeah, I'll catch that. But then like to sit down and like right away be so into this and the design of it is so fantastic. So I'm so glad that I
Oh,
got to watch it. So thank you for chatting with me. I
No,
really
you're
well, it
welcome.
was
I'm so
really
glad you
kind
liked
of
the.
I don't know, let's just ADGs, Emmys. It's all
you.
it's all
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
Yeah, it's all coming up. So who knows?
Yeah.
You never
Hmm.
know. But fantastic work. Congratulations. I know it was a
Thank
lot of
you.
work. I know it was a lot. So
Yeah.
congratulations.
But it was fun. There really wasn't a lot of strife. I mean, I think you would agree, right, Rob? I mean, there's always the usual strife, not enough money, not enough time. But I think as
Yeah.
a team, I think the sort of, and also you can see the cast is great. There was a lot of joy around the set, so
There was
that's incredible.
a very good energy on this from the showrunners down.
Oh, that's
Everybody
great.
was nice, which
Oh,
is
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah,
I love
which
that.
is yeah, can be
Yeah.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be.